It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, and it is my pleasure to be with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Detroit Pistons as they go up against the Philadelphia 76ers. Taking a look at the 76ers, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. A lot of bright young stars in Philly, and taking a look at the roster, Kenny, which player do you think has the best chance of developing into a franchise player for the Sixers?
Wow, this is tough because, the young rookie Okafor's there. Got a lot of guys. I'm going to go with Nerlens Noel. I think he made his case for Rookie of the Year.
To Philadelphia, everyone, as the 76ers get ready to defend home court in the Eastern Conference. Welcome to our 2K Sports broadcast of the NBA on a Monday afternoon. This is Kevin Harlan, and here with me tonight, Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards. Harris is out there with Marcus Morris. And it's Drummond in at the center position. Really left alone that time. Jackson's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball.
For the past few seasons, guys, Detroit have been a team that struggled to punish teams from the perimeter. Last year, that was not the case. They showed dramatic improvement in being a threat from behind the arc.
So it's the Pistons now. It's a three-point game. Morris kicks to Harris. And another three for Detroit.
A lot of times in the first quarter, it'll dictate how big a role a player has later on.
As you said, the Pistons became a team that could hurt you from deep. They set a franchise record for most makes per game and almost 9 made threes per contest.
And it wasn't like Detroit was forcing it. I mean, they were just good at shooting the three. I mean, they finished in the top 10 in the NBA in both total three-pointers made and three-point percentage.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Jackson kicks to Morris. And the rejection by Embiid. Caldwell Pope passes to Morris. Shoots the three. Jackson misses. 76ers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Now here's Embiid. He's guarded closely. And here's Covington from the arc. Here's Okafor. Can't get it to go. Good D by Drummond.
The shots aren't dropping yet. They've missed 4 of their first 5 shots.
And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the foul. That's his first foul.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
No question about it. No flop there. That was a direct shot to the chest.
Now here is Smith. It's Okafor. It's out the key. He kicks it to Cannon. The leaner inside. Cannot hit. And it's Detroit the other way.
And guys, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, this guy screams potential at you. I mean, perfect size and length and speed for a 2-guard. He plays both ends. Right now, it's all about consistency for him.
Now Smith, after the missed 3 from Reggie Jackson, launches a 3. Okafor dishes to Smith. Cannon from long range. Rebound, Detroit.
And that's playing into the hands of the defense right there.
No way you can sneak that shot by him, Greg. I mean, he was all on top of that one.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one. Well, guys, once again, the 76ers finished second to last in the East. Amazingly managed to win fewer games against the East than they did the year before, which was 14 wins in 2014. He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and, Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Now here's Drummond. He feeds it to Morris. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Morris.
Well, he just didn't make the catch, didn't look the ball into his hands. He must have thought the ball was going somewhere else.
Noel's checked in for Joel Embiid. And Detroit with a change here, too. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Jackson. Smith kicks to Cannon. Back to Smith. Nice shot from the wing. Smith's got his second basket of the game. One thing, Greg, about Philadelphia, you talked about this. Only 12 wins for them last year against the East.
And Kevin, how about not getting a win against their own conference until December? I mean, as bad as the Sixers were last year, though, they weren't the worst. So sometimes, even for me, I still can't fathom that's the case.
And it's the 76ers with the ball. After the basket by Detroit. From 11 feet away. Rebound Andre Drummond.
They really depend on him to convert those chances. A lot of times, even with solid D draped on him, they expect him to make it.
Oh, that's blocked. They recover it. Morris passes to Meeks. Tries again. Misses off the left iron.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
There's 1:40 left in the first quarter. Caldwell Pope dishes to Harris. Goes back up. That's good. Harris has got 5.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game. And Detroit with a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. Greg, you just said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15-29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. We've got 1:28 left in the first quarter of the game. From past the arc. The rebound by Johnson. And stolen by Noel. To the paint. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket. 59 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's Bullock. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Bullock's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the three, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Philadelphia's gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. There's 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Pistons have gone 5 of 12 from the field since the opening tip. Here's Meeks. And it's Noel with the rebound.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
That gives them the lead. He has 7.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
The shot no good. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Philadelphia ahead, leading by just 1. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports as we get set to get going once again. Hey, during the break, players getting a chance to refuel and hydrate with some Gatorade as there is more basketball in store. And guys, what's your take on the 76ers so far?
I just like the way they're getting out in the open floor, taking advantage of all those fast break chances here early on.
I agree with you, Greg. I mean, they can run, and they've done a good job filling the lanes in transition.
The Pistons trailing. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. So on the floor for Philadelphia, we've got Okafor. He's out there with Grant. Embiid is out there with Hollis Thompson.
And guys, Reggie Jackson was at the end of a yo-yo last season. He starts in Oklahoma for an injured Westbrook. Westbrook comes back, sends Jackson to the bench. Then Oklahoma sends Jackson to Detroit, where he fills in for another injured starter in Brandon Jennings for the rest of the year.
76ers shooting about 42% so far. Over to the wing. The 11-footer, no good from Grant. Detroit's gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the three ball here. Reggie Jackson had made some noise about wanting a big contract to be moved last year. Ultimately, he was traded to Detroit.
Yep, Kevin traded from the Thunder to the Pistons, and it actually happened on deadline day.
That's good from Jackson.
And if you go back, remember Jackson struggled with the Pistons last year as well. So the team went on a losing streak as soon as he got there.
Harris is checked in for the Pistons.
And Jackson will look for a fresh start this season. I mean, hard to play with all the drama and questions going in your head about pending free agency.
And that'll be Philadelphia as it goes out of bounds. 76ers retain possession.
Timeout for the 76ers.
And the 76ers call time here.
And they've gotten good looks, you know, so that's one reason they're frustrated. Maybe he can come up with something to get them an easy one, maybe get to the line.
Yeah, you know, that may be the answer for them. But you know what else, Greg? Ultimately, I think because they're getting good shots, they'll make a better percentage of them going forward.
And guys, this 76ers team still trying to forge an identity. One thing that is sure, they will attack the basket, and a lot of fearless players on this roster.
Some changes for Philadelphia. Carl Landry's checked in for Joel Embiid. Stauskas comes in for Okafor. And it's Isaiah Cannon in for Ish Smith. Then for the Pistons, Aaron Baines comes in for Morris. And it's Johnson in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Landry. Here's Covington. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock. Covington's got his second bucket.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
Jackson misses. Well, the 76ers do go at the basket without hesitation. They're fearless, Clark, going inside. Led the NBA last season on points off drive.
Well, you know, I like to say you've got to use what you have. They didn't have many shooters, so that means head down, get to the rim.
That's his second personal foul.
Knocked loose. Pass to Landry. The shot will not go. And Detroit the other way now. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. And Thompson kicks to Cannon. From deep. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Cannon's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for Philadelphia.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
Here's Landry after the made shot from Andre Drummond. And now the Pistons fast break. Up the floor. Here's Jackson. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup.
Assist goes to
Jackson's got 10 points in the game.
And guys, he's not the tallest or most imposing wing player, but Stanley Johnson has incredible strength and really unmatched confidence. One reason why so many were high on him in the draft.
Timeout called the 76ers. And for Johnson out of Arizona, Greg, his strength, as you were talking about, is his biggest asset. Helps that he has this incredible arm span. And Clark, you know what? He told me he likes to play the 2K game.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He likes to play the real game, too,
Yeah,
because he's hyper-competitive, and I think he's got a chance to be a superb defender at the NBA level.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Nerlens Noel checks in for Landry. Grant comes in for Thompson. And Smith subbed in for Nick Stauskas. Detroit also making some changes. Reggie Bullock, he's checked in for Drummond. Marcus Morris comes in for Aaron Baines. And it's Jody Meeks in for Reggie Jackson. And Noel kicks to Cannon. There's a screen by Noel. Another miss by Philadelphia. Detroit's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Bullock, good. Now it's a 4-point Piston lead.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Yeah, but they better rally soon because they've given up 3 straight buckets in the paint.
Grant, that's good.
Now, there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
And here is Noel. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Pass to Covington. Fires from deep, and he gets it to go.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
And that one's good. Bullock's got 7 points in the game.
A really strong second quarter in terms of scoring the basketball.
Yeah, the Pistons ended last season with a record of 32-50. They played decently enough against the rest of the East and had 23 of their 32 wins against the Eastern Conference.
Here's Covington. He has 7, just 5 on the clock. Shoots the 3. Can't get it to go. Some solid defense from Harris. The finish rips down the breakaway slam.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes it.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
And Detroit last season against the East played well for stretches. They couldn't find that consistency to climb the ladder in the East.
And they had a lot of changes going on. Tons of transition for this group. But let's face it, they did play well down the stretch. A lot of wins against playoff teams from the East and went 500 against Eastern playoff teams in their final 10 matchups.
And Philadelphia calls time here. And for Tobias Harris, a resurgence of sorts last season, Clark, especially from behind the arc, where he shot a career high 36%.
You know, he'd only hit 25% from 3 the year before, Kevin. So, yeah, monster improvement in accuracy from long range.
And getting back to Harris, there's just so much to like about his game. He lives in the gym, has a tremendous feel for the game, and he knows how to maximize his production within those athletic limitations.
Changes for Philadelphia. Okafor comes in for Noel. And Carl Landry is subbed in for Jeremy Grant. So for the Pistons, the 76ers trail by 5.
You know, the thing about Harris is he's a combo forward, extremely versatile. At 6'8", he struggles with size against the better power forward, and he lacks the athleticism of the better small forward. So to get the most out of him, you have to put him in the right matchups.
The struggles just continue this quarter. They can ill afford to have this many empty possessions.
That's good. And now a 7-point Piston lead.
So they've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's why they're on this run. You get that close to the hoop, and it's a lot easier to make shots.
Landry gets the bucket. 23 seconds left now here in the second. Jackson passes to Caldwell Pope. Jackson dishes to Caldwell Pope. Kicks it to Drummond. Okafor grabs the miss.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
From past the arc, and that's not going to go. And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Pistons lead by 5. Time now for the halftime break, with the third quarter soon to follow, right here on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. The biggest lead for them during the period was 6. They started to take control of the game in the second quarter and pulled away nicely, heading into halftime up by 5. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
You know what jumps out at me? Their efficiency on the offensive end. They shared the basketball. Good shot selection. They showed a lot of patience, and that patience will be tested the rest of the way.
Shaq, what'd you think about... And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
It's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. One of the stories here, Reggie Jackson getting it done today.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
Checking out the group for Stan Van Gundy to start the second half. Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards. Marcus Morris is out there with Andre Drummond, and it's Harris in at the 3, the small forward.
Yeah, starting the second half nicely there. Love those easy lay-ins to get things going.
The 76ers didn't lie to themselves about last season, Greg. They knew they weren't going to be in the playoffs. They spent a lot of time last season developing their young players.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, the third straight year the Sixers would miss the playoffs. But as you said, Kevin, they knew what the season had in store. The key was could they keep those young guys focused on growth and experience and not get caught up in the fact that they struggled to win games.
And Cannon gets it to go.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense.
Jackson with it. Now Smith defending. Jackson misses. The 76ers trail by 5.
And it's clear for the Sixers, the plan has been to continue to add good young players. Eventually, I think they'll be a force in the East. There's no guarantee, but they've got a plan and they're sticking to it.
A lot of teams that win a title often have a former #1 pick leading the way, or at least a top 3 NBA draft pick as their leader. So the 76ers are trying a shotgun approach to that, trying to get as many top 3 picks as they can, hoping one turns into the next superstar.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Well, clearly the 76ers were the youngest team in the league last season, and with all the draft picks they've stockpiled, they'll be the youngest team for a while, it seems. But if the youth can grow and develop, they could also be a force in a few years, too.
And some changes here for the 76ers. Grant, he's checked in for Robert Covington. Hollis Thompson comes in for Cannon. And Stauskas subbed in for Ish Smith. Johnson, he's checked in for the Pistons. Jody Meeks comes in for Jackson. Thompson with it, picked up by Harris. Thompson outside. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. To give you an idea of how young this 76er team is, at one point last season, Greg, Tim Duncan had more seasons played in the NBA than the entire active roster of the 76ers.
That's hard to fathom. I mean, we all know there's this youth movement going on in Philadelphia, but they still need some veterans in that locker room. Very hard for the young players to lead.
Here's Stauskas. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. And he gets it to go.
You know, he's going to continue to bury those if that's how they're going to D him up.
Now, here's Meeks. Here's Drummond, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Drummond's got 6.
Jody Meeks.
The 76ers trail. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Grant kicks to Embiid. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. Drummond's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Here's Harris. He drains the quick shot. He's got 9.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
The 76ers have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. For 3, Stauskas. Rebounded by the Pistons. Morris has got his 3rd rebound tonight.
Nick Stauskas had some great moments on the court last season, guys, but perhaps his most memorable contribution was his nickname of Sauce Castillo. Came out of nowhere, but it stuck with him, and he's going with it. I'd love to hear the story behind that.
Well, Clark, as you were talking about Nick Stauskas, he earned the name Sauce Castillo last year. Came about when a bad translation on a Kings game referred to him as that name in closed caption.
And guys, credit to Stauskas because he ran with it, made the most of the opportunity, even launched his own Sauce Castillo hot sauce. And I can't attest to if the sauce is any good, Kevin, but I'm still waiting for a taste test.
I am too. Put it on what? You put it on bread and crackers and hamburgers. Okay, we'll try it. Yeah. We'll try it. Pistons leading by 6. Here's Meeks. The rebound by Grant. Now Thompson looking for his first basket still in this one. Shot from the top of the key. Drained for 2 points. Now here's Meeks. Johnson outside. Lets it go from deep, and that one's good. Johnson's got 5 points so far.
Kevin, he didn't hesitate that time. The D gave him a step, and he just pulled up and drained the 3.
And it's Thompson again missing.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead. Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, and usually when a team goes on a run like this, it's because they are getting too many opportunities on the inside. Make them beat you from deep.
Meeks and Thompson sends it back. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thompson. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for the Pistons. Tolliver comes in for Marcus Morris. On defense, the 76ers. They trail by 9 points. Harris misses.
And guys, the Spurs coaching tree extends pretty far these days. Coach Brett Brown, another former member of the Spurs staff, to be leading an NBA team.
And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Detroit?
They really haven't backed away from running and gunning at any point, but their legs still look fresh.
The number of second chance points they've gotten is also impressive. I mean, they've kept so many possessions alive with offensive rebounds.
Carl Landry's checked in for the 76ers. Ish Smith comes in for Jeremy Grant. Then for the Pistons, Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Harris. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Jody Meeks. Well, Greg, for Brett Brown and the Spurs connection, he was an assistant in San Antonio for 7 years, was really indoctrinated into how the Spurs conducted business, Clark, before coming to the 76ers.
Yeah, he's got an interesting accent, too, a mix of Boston Australian from where he grew up and where he spent a lot of time, but no doubting his passion and his coaching ability. He's good in both.
He was actually a head coach for Australia for a while in international play. Pistons leading by 6. Jackson passes to Johnson. Fires from 18. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Pistons have hit most of their free throws tonight, 5 of 6.
And they only made 70% of their free throws as a team a season ago. Certainly room for improvement.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
For Detroit, they've gotten half their shots to drop in the second half, up to this point, going 7 of 14. Jackson. But they get it back. Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. There's the dish to Tolliver. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Will not go. This is off the front iron. The 76ers trail by 9. And Noel kicks to Covington. And Baines pulls it down.
Clearly a 2-for-1 situation here, guys.
Oh, without question, Greg. I mean, the wise move would be to get themselves a quick shot so they have an opportunity to get that 2-for-1.
Now Landry, after the missed three from Reggie Jackson.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
There's 18 seconds left in the third. From outside the arc, good. Jackson's got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for Detroit.
And with that 3, his second of the half, he's equaled his total from before the break.
Noel wide open. He fires. Tried to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Here's Caldwell Pope. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Pistons ahead. Ending the third quarter with a tremendous 17-5 run. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. The 76ers trail by 12. We've got Robert Covington. Isaiah Cannon is out there with Smith. Then it's Noel. And it's Okafor in at the pivot spot manning the middle. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Morris into the lane. Good.
Marcus Morris.
Morris has got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Pistons. The 76ers shooting 34% from the field. That's not going to get it done. And here's Covington from the arc. The shot, no good. Good work defensively by Morris.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game.
Jackson against Smith. Passes to Okafor. Cannon, that's a 2-pointer. Drops one in from the wing. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. Jackson dishes to Tolliver. Morris right side. Lets it go with a 3. Count the bucket. Morris has got 5 points in the quarter.
Just too dangerous of a shooter to leave alone from beyond the arc.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Alley-oop try, and it's sent back by Morris. What are you doing? And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. So both teams making some changes here. Fourth quarter now. We're about a minute and a half in. 6 to shoot. The 76ers with another miss.
Well, that defense went from poor to no defense at all.
And when he's open like that, you don't see him miss those looks very often. Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
It's hauled in by Harris. Pistons leading by 19. It's tipped. Guarded by Harris. That's good. Basket number 5 on a 5-for-8 night shooting.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Jackson has the open look, and another 3 for Detroit.
And you can just see his confidence is rising. Bucket after bucket from long range.
Detroit with the rebound. Drummond's got 11 rebounds in the game. Jackson misses. 76ers have gone just 2 of 8 in this fourth quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin. And looking at Joel Embiid, he has all the tools to be the game's next great center. He's raw, no doubt about that. And he'll have to overcome the injuries, but his combination of size, speed, agility, practically unparalleled.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. Regarding Joel Embiid, what makes him even that much more unique as a young 7-footer, excellent shot mechanics, and a feathery touch. In college at Kansas, he shot Greg 63% from the floor. Many of those were face-up jumpers.
And as the season wore on, he became money at the free throw line as well. Those are the kinds of unique attributes that make him an extra scary prospect.
And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Nerlens Noel checks in for Embiid. Landry comes in for Okafor. Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for Robert Covington. And Stauskas subbed in for Cannon. Here's Meeks. It's good, only a few seconds into the shot clock. And the Pistons lead by 20.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Shoots it up. But they recover it.
Timeout for the 76ers.
And the 76ers call time here. Just a bit of an up-and-down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lulls.
Harris will check in for Detroit.
Tobias Harris.
Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
And here are the Pistons. They're on a 14-6 run. Landry grabs the miss.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons' season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
And it's Bullock missing.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
Landry gets the bucket.
Your heads-up aggressive play right. There, saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Pistons leading by 18.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. They would end the season on a better note.
Oh my! How did he? Hit that shot.
I don't believe what I just saw right there, Kev.
Sixers bomb.
Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession.
20 seconds.
Timeout for the 76ers.
Started.
Timeout called the 76ers.
Just trying to get a break in the action to clear some heads here. I mean, they've gone ice cold, and not a bad idea to give them a little quick breather.
Yeah, they needed the timeout here. Anything to try to get them to forget about the missed shots and get themselves back on track.
Two minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
Out of bounds. Detroit ball.
1:57 left here in the fourth quarter. And the rejection by Noel. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Noel.
Tell you what, boy, it's hard to watch when the guy gets good shots and misses them. He's missed everything this quarter.
Shot from the low block. And off the fryer, and in it goes. 19 points in the game.
I like the way he's not forcing anything, taking advantage of what the defense has given him. He's been a key contributor for them in this quarter.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead kind of attack that they have.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for Detroit.
And Clark, their hard work on the glass paid off.
You know, they both are excellent rebounding teams. I thought it was a tough battle underneath both ways.
A fantastic show. And what an amazing all-around game it was for Jackson. Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
And, you know, Steve Blake, a veteran presence who has been around the block a few times. He's been on several teams, played in several schemes and systems throughout his career. He's seen everything you could try to throw at him on the floor. He's a consummate pro.
And going back to Steve Blake, really didn't see much playing time after being traded to the Warriors last season. Of course, with Steph Curry and Sean Livingston ahead of you, you're going to not see a lot of minutes. Blake really just became probably more of an insurance policy.
And Blake's minutes, as you mentioned, Kevin, were down last season, but he was still that seasoned point man you'd love to have on your roster in case you got to cash in that insurance.
Reggie Bullock, he's checked in for Jody Meeks.
Reggie Bullock.
And so it's Detroit with the ball. They lead by the biggest margin of the game, 23 points. They get the rebound. Baines. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
That's his second personal foul. Shooting for Philadelphia.
First free throw is good.
Baines. Taking 2 shots.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. 44 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
Detroit ball.
And the Pistons with possession here. Here's Blake, and the layup falls.
And really no better feeling than to go on the road and play this well and get the win.
Yeah, it's always a good win when you play the kind of game they have played tonight. I mean, especially, though, when you get it done on the road. That's a special, special feeling there.
From deep three-point range, the rebound by Blake.
And sometimes he can hit that deep three, but it's not a high percentage shot for him.
Yeah, even for him, that's out of his range.
Down low. Here is Tolliver. No good on his first attempt of the game. And so it's the Pistons taking care of business here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to